What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So this is quite like a weird moment because I'm packing for what is my final exercise, me personally, before I'm out the army. This is the last thing I'll pretty much do with the battalion, really, before I start making my way back to the UK and go on some resettlement leave. So speaking to a few of you on here and on Instagram, I realised that a lot of the questions are about the army, obviously, but about exercise and kit and all that sort of stuff. And whilst I've always said I'm not like a kit monster, I haven't bought loads of stuff myself, there are a few bits of kit that I have got, and also I have been in a while. I've been on a few exercises now, packed a bergen many a time. I thought I'd share with you what I do. So I packed, and then I thought, well, actually I should probably just share with you my thoughts. Now, before we get into the actual kit side of life, I will just say that number one, if you are recently joining the army or concerned about kit or whatever, don't go buying all your own stuff just yet. Give it a bit of time, definitely get through training and then maybe buy your own stuff, because you'll have a much better idea of the kit that works for you, or what you would like, how you would like your kit set up. The second point is that you will definitely get a kit list given to you. Number three is this is what works for me. And it's exercise specific, right? Because I'm deploying on this exercise, but I'm not really in a tactical role. I'm what they call an exercise conducting officer. So I'm more of, I've done the planning for it, and now I'm just making sure that it runs smoothly. So that's the main points to remember throughout this video, that this isn't me saying this is how you pack your kit. This is just what I do, and it works for me. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. So this is the bergen, right? So I've just untucked the front straps there, so we'll pull that out and then we will open the main compartment like so. Okay, and then in the main compartment you can see here, right, it's the largest compartment, hence why it's the main one, and in the middle of the bergen. And what goes in here is your sleeping bag, and I'll talk you through exactly what I've got in here. First things first, roll mat. Okay, this is where I keep my roll mat. It's a necessity. This was one that I purchased because it's slightly better than the issued roll mat. I'll see if it folds out like so. Alright, so you can see that is the roll mat. If you've ever been on exercise or camping, then you'll have a good idea about why you need one of these, because if you don't, you end up freezing cold laying on the floor to prevent the cold ground getting to you. So it's an absolute necessity. Next up, in my main compartment, I've got spare clothes. Yeah, so I've got spare trousers, shirts. That is just a bag of spare clothes. Okay, and I keep that in a separate bag in the main compartment. And then in its own waterproof bag is basically morale. One, harbour slippers. This was bought as a gift. I would actually definitely recommend them. They are glorious. Sleeping bag in there. And in the sleeping bag, I've got a pillow. Okay, this is a game changer. I used to be a guy that would fold up maybe his smock and put it on top of his body armour and get my head down on top of that. Bought one of these off Amazon, I don't know, like £12–15 or something, a little travel pillow, and it is gleaming. So I just keep it in the hood of my sleeping bag there. My sleeping bag is inside my bivvy bag, which is a waterproof sheet basically. So if it does rain, you just pull that up, and that is what is inside the main compartment. Sleeping bag goes inside the bivvy bag, which goes inside another waterproof bag as well, because it's the last thing you would want to get wet. If it gets wet, you are having an extremely bad time. And that is the main compartment complete. Waterproof that back up. Whack that back in there, and again, whack that down. In the spine, by the way, I have some tam paper, and that will become more apparent in a second. And I've also got a Nyrex, which is down the back of the bergen. which is where I keep important notes, etc. If I need to when planning, although on this exercise I probably won't need to. So it goes down the spine there. Okay, cool. So does that paper, that goes in there as well. Roll mat back on top. And that is the main compartment. Alright, so in terms of spare clothes, I would take a spare set on every exercise, a spare shirt or U-back, which is under body armour clothing, goes under your body armour shock, and spare trousers. The main reason you have spare clothes is to do your wet dry drills, which you'll get taught in training. It's a pretty grim experience, to be honest. You get out of your wet clothes to get into your sleeping bag at night so that you don't get your sleeping bag wet, and then when you wake up you get back into your wet clothes to not get your dry clothes wet. It's a pretty grim experience, but that is part of the job. Anyway, so that is that there. Okay, let's move on to another part of the bergen, which is going to be the side pouch. So for this side pouch, we have that and another bag in there. In this one, in the first bag, I've got a bit of warm kit, which a jumper. Yeah, so just a dark jumper there, quite warm, and that goes in a waterproof bag. In this one is spare socks, etc. So some talcum powder / foot powder, which is sterilised dusting powder. Okay, so this is essentially how you clean your feet. Good shelf life, 2 years from the date of manufacture, and the date of manufacture was October 2016, so I've had this for quite a long time. And then you can see I've got socks that are in a bag, another waterproof bag, and then more socks in another waterproof bag, and more socks and more talc as well. More socks. You get the picture. Okay, this is spare socks. So these are Gore-Tex socks. So essentially, if you get your boots soaking wet, you can dry them out by putting these Gore-Tex socks on and wearing them inside your boots, and it does a pretty good job of drying them out. And there's some talc in there as well. And then spare socks. Okay, you may ask why I've got 2 pairs in there. One is, these are some issued socks which I don't think are great, so I've been known to get blisters in them, so I will double sock to prevent blisters, which basically means that instead of your foot rubbing on the boot, the socks tend to take the friction and rub against each other. So I would definitely say if you are susceptible to blisters, then you may want to start double socking. Anyway, that is that. And then my out-of-date foot powder. Pop that down, clip it up, nice and small. Okay, cool, so that is that side pouch done. Now we're going to this side pouch. It's pretty flat already. Okay, so the reason that that pouch is slightly flat already is because it's only got one thing in, and that is my waterproof jacket. Okay, which is again inside a waterproof bag. That is my waterproof jacket. I can't be bothered to get that out, but that is a Keeler. If you're joining the infantry, then I would 100% recommend buying a Keeler smock, because game changers, like literally game changers. I did the whole of Brecon without one, and then bought it after Brecon, and I just don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did it to myself. I should have bought one pretty much straight away. So anyway, that goes in there. The reason that only has one thing in it at the moment is because I haven't been given any rations yet. We'll get given rations when we are on exercise, and that pouch will be where a lot of my rations go, dependent on how many days we get issued. But I have that space free, and I have more space inside the main compartment for rations if needed. That is all the main compartments for the bergen. Okay, cool, so the pouch is on the front there, and this is what we've got. We've got jet boil with gas. So you won't be able to use them in training. If you are going to starting training, you'll be using the Joy of Mess tins and Hexi. Fun times. But once you get out of that, I would definitely recommend buying a jet boil. I think they're about, I don't know, 80 quid or something. Maybe a little bit more, but 100% worth it. And that is for cooking your food and getting a hot drink on the go, etc. Something that you absolutely need. Okay, in the other one, I have some DEET. Alright, I get bitten a lot, so this is insect repellent. In this small bag is some polish. And some spare laces and a brush, a boot brush, because we polish our boots in the field because it protects the boot a lot more. And then finally I've got a little first aid pouch here which contains stuff like bandages, Compeed, so if I do get a blister I can smash that on it. As you can see, I've got a few. Hay fever tablets, paracetamol. I've got some hay fever tablets in there. I've also got some thread and a needle. So there's some needles in there and some thread just in case I do rip stuff and I can sew it back together, even though I am horrendous at sewing, so I'll probably get someone to do that for me. And a mozzie net so I can sleep of an evening. I'm not going to lie to you, this, obviously hasn't been washed, but you basically put that over your face and look like you're going to go do bank robbery, and that's pretty much it. So even though it's not like completely red as in Cyprus at the moment, there's probably still going to be insects and mozzies about, so just in case I've got the mozzie net which will help, and that's sort of the first aid kit, if you like, in the middle pouch. And then in this pouch is some, well, I think I'm almost out with them, but I've got another pack here, some wet wipes and wash kit, being some bite cream just in case I do get bitten, which I always do get bitten. You can see flannel, electric razor, normal razor, toothpaste, and then I've also got some shaving foam in a different one as well. Like so. In here is a poncho. I'm not going to get it all out, but that is a waterproof sheet which you basically put over yourself in case it rains so you don't get piss wet through, and that goes in that pouch there. Right, what else are we missing? Okay, so on the inside here, one which is this. This is basically, if you're a platoon commander, this is your holy Bible. It contains everything you need to know. Basically, I won't go into any more depth than that, but that is your TAM, Tactical Aid Memoir. You'll get issued one, learn it as best as you can, but it's there to help you do stuff. What else do we have? Bars, yeah, I like a lot of cereal bar type stuff, so I keep morale goes in this pouch. That pouch is basically just full of morale, but you know, you need it. We're going to be on exercise for like 2 weeks, so there'll probably be some moments where I could do with a bit of cheering up, especially if the weather comes in, and that is what that pouch is for. And then finally in the top, I've got spare things like art markers, tent pegs, bungees to tie things, etc, etc. That is what I've got in there. And then also, because I'm a good platoon commander, I've got model kit. That will be explained to you at a later date. As I said, the only thing really missing there is rations, and I've got some space to put that in. Other than that, that's pretty much complete. That is just to sustain yourself living. Well, out of that, in with webbing. This is the webbing setup at the moment. This is what I've got. So magazines go in these pouches, and then got some quick release ones on top. Magazines counterweight for your helmet, but people will explain that to you. In here is a water bottle. Yeah, so 1 litre. And then in here is where I keep other bits, such as weapon cleaning kit, and I've got a little case for it, so that is a rifle cleaning kit if I need it. And in here is just a bit of warm kit, so that if I am away from my bergen and I could do with a bit of warming up, then I've got things like, well, I'll show you what I've got in here. I've got a hat which folds up, a windproof neutronic. This is gleaming because it folds up to this size. So this is what it is when it comes out. So that's that, and then you can put that under a shirt if it is a bit windy or if you're in a layup. It's actually a really good bit of warm kit because it folds up so small. And when you want to get rid of it, you just start folding it in itself. And then it folds up into pretty much a little fist size thing. Whack that in there. Med kit goes in here, and then this is just like my admin pouch, if you like. So at the moment I've got things like gloves in there, lip balm because my lips get really chapped. I've got this little lighter thing which is pretty cool, and I'm pretty sure someone gave it to me and I never returned it, so I'm sorry if it's yours, but pretty cool. And last but not least, a whistle, because you never know when you're going to need it, and there's some other bits in there, but that's the main thing. And then last but not least, I will talk you through my body armor setup, which is, this is a pouch for a radio. That is a Garmin Fortrex, which is basically a GPS. So this is what I'll have in my pouch. It folds down like that on your chest. Compass, combi tool for my weapon, knife, Gerber, which is needed, Lumi pens, and then as you can see I've got some bits that I keep in there, slate cards, etc. And then somewhere I can put my map or inside there if I need to, but I usually just have it free, and then that goes up like that. And to be honest, that is pretty much it. I've also got my day sack for things like where I'll put my head torch in. One good thing about being a instructor at a training establishment is loads of recruits seem to like leave these around on the training area and stuff, so I've got loads of head torches and other bits, yes, because I robbed them essentially. Again, in here I've got another Nyrex, and that, to be honest, the rest is pretty much boring stuff, and a camelback as well. That will go in my day sack. And to be honest, that's pretty much it. As I said, I'm not deploying as an exercising troop on this one. I'm one of the planning officers, so I don't need to be as tactical, if you like. However, that is not too far off how I would usually pack my bergen in terms of socks, spare kit, sleeping system, all that sort of stuff. And finally, I'll say that works for me, all right? So this isn't, you know, if you look at that and you think absolutely not, then that is up to you, but I've done a fair amount in the field, and I've never been failed by my setup. Right, I hope that was useful to those of you that either are starting training or are kit pests and just wanted to see my setup. Let me know in the comments if you do it differently, or if you've got any questions. I'll try my best to help you. The main thing is listen to your chain of command, but find out what works for you, and don't waste too much money on kit. This is my biggest thing at Catterick when you know, some of the guys would ask what kit to buy and all that sort of stuff. Get through training first, use the kit there, and then you'll have a better idea, because some of it can be really expensive, hundreds and £100 on kit. So find out what works for you first, and then start to look into buying kit if you so please. That is it for this week's video. I deploy on exercise, so it's a bit of a weird feeling, to be honest, because this is going to be my last exercise with the regular army. Naturally, as I was packing my kit earlier, you start to look back on all the things, and that bergen was given to me by my brother, who'd also done a fair amount in the army before I had, so that's been to a lot of places and been thrown around in dirt a lot, so it is definitely robust. If anyone's coming at me with DPM, I will back that as my best bit of kit all day. That is it for this week's video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you like in the comments. If this sort of content is stuff you like, then please give the video a like, give it a thumbs up, click the bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video, and if you haven't yet, do click subscribe. See you next week with a brand new video.